Hi, my name is Gloria Cabral. I'm the baking and pastry instructor at Bristol Community College and also the department chair. What I'm going to do is a couple of videos for you on basic cooking. But one of the things I always want, they're not in the videos, but I do it beforehand, is I always make sure my hands are washed. You should wash them for at least 20 seconds. Actually singing Happy Birthday song would help. Make sure you get in between your nails, in between your hands, around here before you start, and I do it in between everything that's from raw to cook and everything else. My hair is always back because I don't want to see any hair in my food. I'll wear a hat or some type of, when you're at home you can wear a baseball cap, put it in a ponytail if you have long hair, just to keep it off the table or off your food. When I'm at work, I use rubber gloves. When anything's going to be eaten after it's already cooked, I will use rubber gloves. In my video I do not, because I'm at home cooking. I use a couple of tools you'll see me use, in my knives and scales and different things like that that I will already have prepared. What we talk about a lot is mise en place, and mise en place is everything in its place. So before I start cooking, I will get my recipe together. I put all my ingredients together. So as I'm cooking it, I will take it aside and clean it as I go. This way it's much more efficient in your kitchen, and no matter what age you are when you're cooking, you always want to make sure everything is all together. You know how to make it, and you clean as you go. So this way you don't have a big mess for later. I always keep my thermometer close at hand and my scale off to the side because I do a lot of measuring. You can use cups and teaspoons and tablespoons for many of your recipes, and then I'm always cleaning up as I'm going along so I don't have a big mess. So I hope you enjoy these next videos and you have a good day. Hi, today we're going to make some homemade marshmallows. Everybody loves marshmallows. What's great about them is they're very wholesome. They have gelatin in it to give it protein. You can be very creative once you learn how to make them. So one thing I talk a lot about is mise en place. That's making sure all my ingredients are here. So this recipe is one from Alton Brown, and it's a very simple one. It says 7 teaspoons of gelatin, and this is a powdered gelatin. We have like unflavored gelatin, so I always cross it off. This is 8 ounces of cold water, so I get it really nice and cold. That's going to help the gelatin, what they call bloom, so I cross that. A cup and a half of sugar, 1 cup of light corn syrup, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of vanilla. And then later on, I will show you we take the same amount of confectionery sugar and cornstarch, we mix it together so we can make sure our marshmallows don't stick. So we have to what they call bloom the gelatin. Bloom the gelatin means it's got to hydrate. It's got to fill up a little bit. So I have 8 ounces here, and I'm going to use about 1/3 of this. I'm not going to measure. I'm just going to kind of, 1/3 to half is fine. I'm going to put my vanilla in my mixing bowl, and then I'm going to sprinkle in my gelatin, and so what's going to happen is that's all going to get mixed together, and then it's going to swell because they call blooming. So I want to make sure all the lumps are out, and this way when it sits and it swells up, it'll bloom and it'll be ready for me to use. This needs to be about 5-10 minutes in here, and that will just sit while I'm waiting. So I just put this on the back burner, back over here, and I'll come back to it in a minute. Now in my pot, I'm going to add the rest of the water. One cup of corn syrup. Scrape every bit out. One thing about baking and cooking, when it's use the correct ingredients, and once you understand about what they are, then you can change that. And add my little bit of salt and my sugar. Just give this a quick mix, and then I'm going to put this on the stove till it boils. Okay, this is what I mean by blooming gelatin. You'll see it looks like rubber. The gelatin is absorbing all the water, and gelatin is bloomed. What it did is swelled with the water, and it swells up, it thickens, and it gels. And then I'm going to go put this on the mixer with the whip to get it ready while the sugar solution the sugar solution here, which is the corn syrup, the salt, the water, and the sugar, are going to come to a boil. Now this is temperature controlled, so you have to be able to watch what the temperature is. So I use a thermometer, digital thermometer, and I want it to get to at least 240 to 250 degrees. So I keep checking it. I don't leave it at the bottom because the bottom will only heat the pan. So as it boils, I'll stick it in right into the center and watch how it boils. Now I'm using this red handle spatula, is heat resistant. So I'm not using a regular plastic spatula because what will happen, it will end up burning and melting. This pot is just perfect. All right, I'm at 250 degrees and I'm going to shut it off to get ready to put on the mixer. I'm going to turn the mixer on and it's going to stop moving the gelatin, and I'm going to pour the syrup along the side inside the bowl. I'll do it on slow speed and work my way to high speed. Once I get it all the way in, I'm going to slowly turn it on to high speed, and I want to whip this to a nice, light, fluffy consistency. I whipped it to a nice medium peak. Has a little bit of, I don't want to touch it because I don't want to get my fingers all into it. And what I did, because now I can actually pipe it into different molds, I can do different things. But for demonstration, I'm just going to put it in here because they will be cut into squares. Great for toasting on a campfire. You want to spray a little bit of nonstick spray and take same amount of confectionery sugar and cornstarch. You mix it together and you're going to powder the bottom. This way it'll come up and it won't stick. So we'll pour this right down in here, just like fluffernutter. This is delicious. Once you've learned how to make a vanilla marshmallow, then you start being creative, and I'll show you some later. Look at that. Doesn't that look delicious? Nice and thick. As it cools, it's going to start thickening up because of Jell-O. Remember when you put Jell-O in the refrigerator, when it gets cold enough, it starts thickening up. Same thing happens with the marshmallows. People make vegan marshmallows, and what that is called agar-agar. And that's a whole different process to make these. Some people make kosher marshmallows. That's when the gelatin is all from beef, because gelatin comes from a variety of beef and pork bones. Spread it nice and thick or as smooth as you want. Depends on what you want it to look like. I get it kind of thick right on top. I could pipe these out in between cookies and dip them in chocolate. Just give it a little bit of fun to it. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of confectionery sugar and cornstarch on top. Now this has to sit a minimum of 8 to 24 hours. I usually don't touch it till the next day. What's nice about this is it can be frozen, and a lot of times I cut it when it's frozen because it'll give me a nice clean cut. So now, once you've created your first marshmallow, then you start changing flavors, changing different techniques for them. This here, I piped this on a cupcake, and I piped them separately, so you have that nice marshmallowy flavor. You can put them on your desserts. You can eat that whole. I sliced this one, and I put it between 2 graham crackers as a s'more, which I can drizzle a little bit of chocolate. This one I put Ritz crackers, and this one is a peanut butter marshmallow. It has peanut butter powder in it, have a little jam on it, so you can do a PB&J s'more. This one here is called the Untoasted Almond. It has almond, color, and coffee in it. This one is one of my favorites, is passion fruit. Passion fruit is a very stringent, bright flavor. And here is strawberry, my husband's favorite. So you can cut them as they're here. What I do is I usually just spray my knife. Make sure carefully that I don't cut my fingers. And then I would cut into these. Like I said, they need to stay, at least I leave them overnight to cut them. And I freeze them a little bit so that they're not going to be really hard, but they cut really nice that way. Then I'll take them and I'll throw them in the confectionery sugar and cornstarch mixture, and I have some here that I did, and all I do is I sift it out, and I can put in my marshmallows on a plate, keep them in an air dry container. If you want to do them ahead of time, they can freeze fine. They freeze for about maybe 1 to 2 months in the freezer. So if you're planning a camping trip this summer, you can make all different types of marshmallows, different types of sizes. This one I cut with a sprayed cutter, and then you can pack them away and take them camping. I hope you learn to do the marshmallows and get creative with your flavors. Enjoy. I hope you enjoyed the videos as much as I did making them. I would love you to try the food that we've created for you. Very simple. Doesn't have to be fancy, but they're very healthy and very flavorful. That's what makes it fun. Good food, good friends, good family, good times. Have a great day.